It's a Monday afternoon. You sit down to read one page of a book. Just one page. You've been meaning to finish it for 3 weeks. 20 seconds in, your hand moves toward your phone. You didn't decide that. It just happened. You catch yourself. Put the phone face down. Try again. 40 seconds later, you're reading the same sentence for the fourth time. The words are going in and nothing is landing. Here's the unsettling part. Nothing pulled you away. No notification. No sound. The phone was just there. Off. Silent. And it still won. So here's the real question. If it wasn't the phone that broke your focus, what was it? Perhaps you've noticed this before. It's not that you can't concentrate anymore. It's that concentration itself feels like holding your breath underwater. Doable, but only for a few seconds before something in you gasps for the surface. We're taught to call this a discipline problem. More willpower, we're told. Fewer distractions. But there's a psychologist who spent years studying something called attentional residue, and what she found doesn't fit that story at all. Her name is Sophie Leroy, and her research suggests that when you switch from one task to another, part of your mind doesn't switch with you. It stays behind, still working on the thing you left unfinished. So when you close the book to check your phone for 10 seconds and then come back to the page, you're not actually fully back. A piece of you is still processing whatever you just looked at. The like count. The reply. The headline you didn't finish reading. You're not present anywhere. You're partially everywhere. That's not weakness, that's residue. And it builds up all day, invisibly, until by 9 p.m. you feel exhausted despite doing almost nothing physically demanding. Here's where it gets stranger. There's an older concept from a Soviet psychologist in the 1920s named Zeigarnik, who noticed something odd about waiters. They could remember an unpaid order in perfect detail. The second it was paid, they forgot it completely. Unfinished tasks, she found, occupy the mind far more powerfully than finished ones. The brain treats an open loop like an alarm it can't turn off until the loop closes. Now think about your phone for a second. Not as an object, but as a machine built almost entirely out of open loops. The 3 dots that mean someone is typing. The unread badge. The video that ends mid-sentence and starts another. The headline that gives you 80% of the story. None of it is designed to finish. It's designed to leave a small, itching gap, exactly the size Zeigarnik described a century ago. Except now there are hundreds of them, refreshed every few seconds, competing for the same narrow beam of attention you have. You were never fighting a lack of discipline. You were fighting an environment built by people who understand the Zeigarnik effect better than you do, and who get paid every time your brain reaches for the next unfinished thing instead of the one already in your hands. Quick question. How many tabs do you have open right now? In your browser? In your mind? In your life? How many conversations are you halfway through? How many shows are half watched? How many messages are sitting there? Seen, but not answered. Each one is small. Together, they're the reason a single page of a book feels heavier than it should. There's an economic idea worth borrowing here. Loss aversion, the finding that losing something hurts roughly twice as much as gaining the equivalent feels good. Closing an open tab. Ignoring a red notification badge. Letting a message sit unread. All register, faintly, as a loss. So your mind keeps a low hum of unfinished business running in the background, and every app on your phone is competing to be the thing that hum resolves. The tragedy isn't that you're addicted to your phone, it's that your phone has become the fastest, cheapest way to briefly quiet a hum that was never caused by the phone in the first place. So what actually helps? Not more willpower. Willpower was never the missing ingredient, and treating it like the answer just adds another layer of guilt on top of an already tired mind. What helps is closing loops on purpose. Instead of letting your attention chase whichever loop is loudest, write down the unfinished thing before you try to focus on something else. Not to remember it, but to tell your mind it's been captured, so it can stop guarding it. This alone reduces the residue Leroy described, because the task no longer needs active monitoring. Protect transitions, not just tasks. Give yourself 60 seconds of nothing between one thing and the next, instead of sliding straight from a screen into a book, or from a meeting into a conversation. Residue needs a moment to settle before the next task can fully claim your attention. Reduce the number of open loops you're carrying, deliberately. Unread counts, half-read articles, Unanswered messages. You don't have to finish them all. You have to decide consciously which ones you're releasing, so your mind stops treating them as unresolved. Notice the difference between rest and escape. Scrolling doesn't close loops. It opens new ones faster than the old ones can resolve, which is why it never actually feels like rest, only like motion. And here's the part that might be the hardest to hear. Being fully present with one page, one conversation, one unfinished thought, was never something our generation lost the ability to do. It's something almost no environment today is built to allow. So the fact that you struggled to read one page this afternoon was never proof that something is wrong with you. It's proof that you're a person with a normal mind, living inside hundreds of small, deliberately unfinished loops, each one quietly asking for the one resource you actually have less of than you think. Maybe the goal was never to want fewer things. Maybe it was to finally let a few of them finish.